Church of England forgave paedophiles and allowed them to continue working with children, inquiry finds.
Here's a summary of the article.
The Church of England forgave paedophiles after they expressed remorse and allowed them to carry on working instead of protecting children, a report has found. The culture of the Church of England facilitated it becoming a place where abusers could hide, said a report released on Tuesday. The report cited the case of Timothy Story, who was permitted to continue working with children after expressing remorse for everything he had done wrong. Evidence given to the inquiry suggested that some victims may have been pressured by church workers to forgive their abuser, causing further harm and potentially bringing them back into contact with the person. Perpetrators were defended by their peers, who also sought to reintegrate them into church life without consideration of the welfare or protection of children and vulnerable adults, IICSA said. Professor Alexis J., chair of the inquiry said, over many decades, the Church of England failed to protect children and young people from sexual abusers. A spokesperson for the Church of England said it was committed to introducing greater independent oversight and sharing safeguarding information externally.
This post received a score of 72,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
If we can't even address this stain on humanity, I have no idea how we will address climate change or anything else.
It's the same thing. We've allowed them to get away with raping kids for decades, so now they're so entrenched it'll take much more than the huge number of embarrassing headlines to make them stop. It has to be forced legally and it has to be fought internationally.
The Church as an institution needs to be dismantled. Nearly 1,700 priests and other clergy members that the Roman Catholic Church considers credibly accused of child sexual abuse are living under the radar with little to no oversight from religious authorities or law enforcement. Not only that, but when bishops, priests, and others are found to have abused children, they are often either moved to other places in the U.S., or simply protected by the Church themselves. What's more, is they maintain their tax-exempt status.
Remember seeing a documentary about a few British priests who were all accused of sexual abuse, and apparently a high-up bishop had a list of their names in a file titled the Naughty Boy List. Like seriously?
I do. I remember Christopher Hitchens mentioning it briefly in his book, where he also mentioned the disgraced Cardinal Bernard Law of Boston, who was given asylum by the Vatican itself after the most horrific of crimes against children.
Check out the movie Spotlight. It's about Cardinal Law and the Catholic Church.
Or the movie Doubt, with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
They could have done so much more with that movie. But yes, still a good movie.
I've watched it several times and was always annoyed how it ended. However, I watched it recently and enjoyed the ambiguity, and of course the phenomenal performances.
It was more about a single nun's loss of faith because of what the church was covering up.
Greater than IICSA said a culture of fear and secrecy within the church about sexuality had also fostered a climate of abuse, because pedophilia was wrongly conflated with homosexuality. Part which pisses me off the most. We won't hold anyone accountable because only gays rape children. Fuck the church.
More like, kid fucking is one thing, but what if they start thinking we're gay?
When a man touches a man, that's gay. But a boy is not a man yet, so, church maths.
We must all do as the Bible commands and forgive our brothers who have fallen off the path of righteousness. Wasn't it Jesus himself who told us that when someone sins against us, we must spread the other cheek?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.